All right, so joining us now from our Cape Town studios is Child Welfare Society's CEO, Niresh Ramklass. And a very good morning to you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us here on eNCA. A startling number of children are abused and are left homeless, and as we just heard, also engaged in some kind of economic activity. What is your view of the role and the situation of children in South Africa's society right now?
Good morning. Yes, the state of our South African children is really dire. I think most of us are unhappy. Most of us who work in the field of child protection are unhappy about the state of children. If we just look at what's happening at schools throughout our country, the rise in violence around our school children, the rise in gangsterism, the heightened bullying levels that are occurring, all indicate a very violent atmosphere and environment for our children to grow up in. And schooling is one of the main things that occupy our children during the day. Given that and the high levels of violence at community level, we are concerned that we are breeding a generation of children who are becoming immune to really horrible acts of violence and attacks on each other and on other members of their neighborhood and community. And that does not spell well or bode well for our future, because we want well-rounded citizens who can take our country forward. We don't want children to believe that going into criminality and gangs is the way forward.
So Niresh, what you're saying is that basically the schools are also partly to blame for the problem that we are experiencing when it comes to protecting children and ensuring that children's rights are protected. Is that what you're alluding to?
Yeah, absolutely. Children have, we are a signatory as South Africa. We've signed the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. Children have a right to education, but with those rights, they also have a right to security and protection. But if children are being shot at school, like what happened in Cape Town a week or so ago, that's a situation that's untenable. We cannot tolerate that, and it's not the first time that it has happened that a child has been stabbed or killed at school in South Africa. We need to ensure that when our parents send kids to school throughout our country, the government, through its agencies, the police forces, have to make sure our children are safe at school.
Niresh, what's also quite shocking when it comes to children is the fact that we see a lot of kids in the streets, and also, begging for money, where you see the parents sort of sitting under a tree, and then you have the child that is doing all the work at the time where they are meant to be at school. What do you think South Africa should be doing? What do you think the government should be doing to get these children out of the streets and into the schooling system?
Yeah, that is a real problem, and I think it occurs in most of the major cities in our country. Parents are unemployed, we understand that, but abusing the child to beg whilst they sit around under trees and watch the child at robots or the children, it's unacceptable. There are mothers carrying their babies who pitch up at robots and expect the public to give them money. I think as South Africans, we should not be supporting people who are forcing children to beg on the streets. We should not be giving the children any money. We should be reporting these issues to Child Welfare and the Government Social Development Department as we notice them, and we must demand law enforcement that someone takes action against the people behind children begging on the streets and working on the streets.
All right, Niresh, thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated for your insights. That was the CEO of Cape Town's Child Welfare Society, Niresh Ramklass, joining us live from our studios in Cape Town. Let's now recap our top stories.
News that moves. eNCA.com.